Hi, my name is Rebecca. Welcome to my first YouTube channel. Just want to start off by saying everyone who does this on a regular basis and makes it look so easy, applause to you. Who knew it was so awkward to talk to yourself on camera? Oh my god, I have tried to do this at least 5 times a day. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a while. I've talked myself out of it a million times, mostly out of fear or dumb reasons like I don't have makeup on, or my hair's doing weird things, or my nails are chipped. We're just gonna go with it. I decided today is the day. My dogs will probably bark. My neighbor's dogs will probably bark. 10 minutes ago, my neighbors decided it was a good time to mow their lawn. If I don't do this now, I'm never gonna do it. So we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. Anyway, this is a channel about cross stitch, if I didn't already say that. It seems to be the YouTube tradition with your first Flosstube to do a WIP Parade, which is what I have planned today, loosely planned. I don't have an outline or anything. I just have a pile of projects around me. But before I started that, I thought I'd give a little introduction about me and who I am. As I said, my name's Rebecca. I live near Seattle, Washington with my husband and our 2 dogs. I have 3 kids in their early 20s or off doing their independent young adult thing. My husband has 3 kids also in their early 20s doing the same thing. So we are empty nesters for now. We'll see if anyone decides to boomerang back into our house. I work from home. I'm an accountant. I do taxes for a living. It's super boring. My husband works kind of half from home. Half the time he commutes into Seattle. He is in the office today, so I thought this would be a good chance for me to have like no additional people listening to me be weird with this camera. Yeah, so I have been a crafter really most of my life, as long as I can remember. My mom taught me how to crochet and cross stitch when I was quite young, definitely grade school. I want to say I was maybe like 9 or 10. So I did that early on. I taught myself how to knit at some point in my early 20s. I don't really remember how I did that because, I mean, the internet existed then. This was like late 90s, early 2000s. But YouTube was not like it is now. You couldn't just YouTube how to do anything, I don't think. So I think it was a combination of blogs, maybe some videos I found online. I do remember having an Elizabeth Zimmerman Knitting Without Tears books. I think I used books to teach myself. I've also done some quilting. When my daughter was really little, I sewed some clothes for her. Now my dogs are gonna make noise. I have glued crystals onto a million dance costumes. My daughter used to do competitive dance, so I've done a variety of crafts over the years. And things have come and gone. You know, like I've really favored knitting, crocheting for a really long time. Cross stitch kind of fell to the wayside at some point. I don't really know why or remember why necessarily. It was a different kind of cross stitch, I think, world back when I did it originally, or at least for me. It's like I said, back then the internet was, you know, in its infancy, or when I was young, it didn't exist at all. So your access to supplies and patterns and kits really was limited to what you could find locally, like in a big box craft store. I think I got all my supplies back then probably like Michael's or Joann's. Back in those days, those stores would have like a whole aisle of cross stitch and embroidery supplies. And I don't know about wherever you are, but by me, that's not the case now. Most of the craft stores by me will have DMC, maybe a little bit of White Ada, and that's about it. No patterns, no kits. The flip side to that is having access to all this stuff on the internet, which is amazing and very dangerous for your bank account. So I think the last things I remember cross-stitching and completing where I did dimension stocking kits for my whole family, my first marriage, me, my husband, my 3 kids. We still have them. It's kind of funny because one of the kits that I did was actually one of the currently most expensive kits on the video that Cross Stitch the Globe did about most expensive cross stitch kits that have sold on eBay. It's my son Parker's stocking. We have it. I have it in a box, or he has it. I'm not even sure actually. So yeah, that's basically what I would have stitched back then. Just really basic stuff you get at the craft store. I know that a lot of designers have existed since the 90s and early 2000s, like Mirabilia's and other names that are still big now. I didn't know those existed back then, or I didn't have access to them at that time. So my, library of patterns and things I had access to would have been like Dimensions, Janlin kits, Busilla kits, like whatever Michaels or Joann's carried then. And maybe that's part of the reason why I kind of stopped stitching, is just not having a variety of things. So this hobby kind of just like fell to the wayside for a while. I think it was probably maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, after tax season ended, my husband had a trip for work to Austin, Texas, which is where my family lives currently, my extended family. I was on vacation time from work. I tagged along with him. So he was in conferences all day, and I was just kind of either hanging out with family or just kind of freewheeling in the city, and just kind of got a bug, like a little idea, like I'm just gonna go to the craft store and get some cross stitch supplies. I'm in the mood to make something with my hands. Seems like something simple, portable, kind of inexpensive. I think I went on Etsy and downloaded a couple of basic patterns that I've finished now. They're in a box somewhere. And bought some DMC and some white Aida and just started that. And then at some point I stumbled upon Flosstube, and I fell off the deep end real quick. As you can probably tell behind me, and you can only see like a small amount of my books. When I start a hobby, I go in hard, like all in. So the projects that I'm going to show you today, the WIPs that I have, everything has been started probably within the last year. And it's a pretty decent sized pile. I don't have stats on when I started everything. I'm not someone who's tracked that. I probably won't be someone who's going to track that kind of stuff really, really accurately. Who knows? I'm in awe of all of you stitchers who are like using markup XP or Pattern Keeper and tracking the stitches per day and percentage complete. I know me, I'm probably not ever going to do that. I mean, never say never. Maybe someday, but I would like to get some kind of loose tracking system, just so I can kind of, for my own knowledge, know how long things are kind of taking me, or, just know what I have going. I'm also have a habit of like starting projects, sticking them in bags, throwing them on a shelf, forgetting they exist. So the projects I'm going to show you today are in no particular order. I'm just going to kind of dive into this pile. We're going to start pulling things out. I'm already feeling out of breath and kind of parched. I've got coffee. I have Coke Zero in a giant tumbler here, so I'm probably going to be taking some drinks throughout this. I have to pick my husband up at the ferry in 1 hour, so see if we can get through all this and if I can not stop this video again. Anyway, let's start with a little breather. Okay, as I said, none of these are in any particular order. I think I have pattern and fabric information for most of them in the bag. I think the ones that I don't have physical patterns for, like they don't have PDFs, I think I have cover photos of them on my iPad that I can share. I'm going to try to link things, other Flosstubers, if I can figure that out. We'll see. So anyway, let's just dive in. The first project that I have that's like right in front of me, and it's in its Q-snap still. with the needle hanging on it because I was working on this recently. Probably a piece of dog hair attached to it. This is a mess. This is my start or WIP on Variant of Interest by Long Dog Samplers. I need one of those. I need like a board behind these because I think you can see through me, like see through to me. This is going to be a monochromatic piece. I am stitching this on a basic 32 count Zweigart linen. I think it's the antique white. And this is, I'm doing this 2/2. This floss is a Silks for You floss from Etsy. She ships from Australia. I bought 3 full hanks of her floss for some long dogs that I have planned. It's beautiful to work with. Really, really great. I don't think she names her colors. I think they're just like a letter and number color name. So if I can find that, I can share it. But it's just pretty much a navy blue. And I started this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I've picked it up and worked on it. I like the long dog. Well, this is my first long dog, but I have like 3 others planned. I really like the monochromatic because I feel like it's nice just to stitch X's and not have to worry, like really be paying attention to color changes and things like that. I have seen some really amazing variations on the Long Dog Samplers Facebook groups. I want to do pandemic, I think mostly with black, but like pops of color. So pull up a cover photo of this for you. So this is just from their website. This is what it will look like eventually, or close to. I like the proportions of it, that it's kind of more of like a banner piece. I think it could fit in some really interesting spots in my house when it's framed and done in years and years. So that is our WIP number 1. I'm gonna throw this in a pile. I'm moving from one pile to another. Okay. The next WIP that I have in one of these like super fancy Amazon mesh bags, which are actually great. Here is the cover photo of the pattern. This is Autumn Bee by the Blue Flower. I'm obsessed with all kinds of bee patterns lately. I'm actually, in addition to fiber crafts, I'm a beginning beekeeper. I have my first colony of bees in my yard this year. It's really, really interesting, kind of stressful. It's not one of those just set it and forget it kind of hobbies, or I don't think you'd call them pets, would you? Anyway, it's fascinating. Like, bees are amazing to me. Hopefully this year goes really well, and I would love to expand our colony down the road. Here's my kind of small start WIP on this project. I'm stitching this one on the, I'm pretty sure it's the called for. Yeah, it's the called for linen. It's Witchelt 32 count French country. Witchelt's not my favorite. It's, you know, if you've stitched on it, you know it's pretty rough. I just really like the look of the cover photo, and so I just kind of pushed the easy button on this one and ordered the called for fabric, and I'm stitching it in DMC. I think there is a I think there's a dinky, the Dinky Dyes silk might be what's used in the cover photo. I don't know, it seemed weird to me to order like 15 silk flosses to use on Witchelt linen, so I went with the DMC. Yeah, but here's my start. Here's my hoop rings. I should have said from the beginning, none of this is ironed. So if that bothers you, there's a lot of other YouTube channels to watch about cross stitch. I'm probably not ever gonna iron anything. But yeah, this is fun. It's turning out actually a little bit bigger than I thought. I think I had kind of envisioned it like a small pillow, maybe like more like a dough bowl size pillow. So I think it's actually going to end up, you know, kind of an in-betweener size, but yeah, I think it'll still be cute, just like for display. So it's On and Be by the Blue Flower. Okay, I'm just randomly grabbing now, so it's a surprise to me too what we're getting. Okay, this next one is Mellow Yellow by the Artsy Housewife. Oh my god, every pattern she puts out I love. This has like that really cool kind of 70s vibe. My living room, we have like a gold chair, and I have a gold, it's like a vertical or yellow vertical bookshelf in there with some more books on it because the books take over the house. And I just thought this would look really cool in that room. I am doing this complete, I think all on the called for fabric, called for floss. Just went on to 1, 2, 3 stitch, and that little checkbox they have where you can add everything to your cart, it's really dangerous. So this is a weird, Artsy Housewife does use a lot of weeks dye work stuff, which it's not my favorite, I don't know, for kind of a variety of reasons, but most of their fabrics, because I do have a couple that I've used, they're weird counts. Like this one is a 35 count chestnut, so not 36, 35. They're soft. It's a really soft and like kind of nice to work with, but the weave is sort of loose. I don't know how to explain it. But then this one uses a combination of classic colorworks, gentle arts, and weeks flosses. And again, you can see me through the back. That's my start on that. Yeah. So it's actually, I think I started this, I had kind of a start-a-palooza. My husband was out of town for work for 5 days. He was in Manila. I was in like a lull with my work, so I had a weekend where I just kind of went crazy and let my crafting stuff take over our family room and made a huge mess and started like a lot of projects. I feel like I got a good enough start on a lot of things that it's like motivating me to kind of continue. And again, this is in my lovely Amazon bag. So yeah, we're at 3 so far. Okay, next up, in an actual like proper project bag, I'm gonna take a drink because I'm thirsty again. This is in a lovely bag by Sheba Designs. The vinyl front, you can see all my messy flosses in here. This has supplies for 2 projects in it, but only 1 actual start. So I want to do, or I would like to do, as many of these You're in the Woods by Cottage Garden samplings as I can. I started with Jackrabbit because he's just super cute and I love those colors. And my littler dog is obsessed with rabbits. We get them in our yard every once in a while and she loses her mind. We've let her chase them a couple times. I don't think she'll ever catch a rabbit, but I'm a little scared of what would happen if she actually did. So that's this one. I also have in here supplies for the fox, but I have not started that one yet, so we won't pull that out. This one is, oops, stitched on, I think it's called for fabric. I put a sticker here. Yeah, it's 36 count Edinburgh linen. Is it called Veldspar? Let me see. Velt linen by Picture This Plus. 36 count, and it's been so long since I've started this one, I can't remember. I think I'm doing 1/2 on this. So I did it this way because I think they're small enough that there's other ones in this series that will fit on the other half of this piece of fabric. 36 count's kind of a funny one for me. I think I'm a tight cross stitcher. I don't feel like I am pulling really hard when I stitch, but I think one strand on 36, I feel like I don't get, I mean, this looks good, but I don't get that kind of plump stitch coverage. And then 2 sometimes feels a little too thick. I think it maybe depends on the fabric dyer and how much, what base they're using and how much their fabrics shrink when they dye them. It's really, really pretty. But yeah, that's kind of it's just sort of a weird, I definitely want 2/2 on a 32 count, 1/2 on a 40, and then 36. It just kind of depends. But yeah, so not a huge, I think I started this one. This might have been one of the first like hand dyed or dyed fabrics that I bought that wasn't like your standard craft store or plain fabric. So kind of a little bit of a relearning curve, I think, on this one. But yeah. And these flosses are kind of a tangled mess. So it's mostly DMCs, and then there's just a couple of Gentle Arts sampler threads in here, which, you know, none of these are like super over dyed or variegated, so you probably could get away with a full DMC conversion, but I think I was just, you know, trusting the design and I'm just gonna order whatever is called for, and we're gonna stitch it with that because I want it to look like the cover photo. So yeah, that. Yeah, and these, I have a couple more project bags coming from Etsy. I need to either up my stash of pretty project bags or cut back on the amount of projects I'm working on. It's probably going to be the first option. Okay, next, also in a pretty project bag. Look at this one. The little Christmas cats. Oh my god, they're so cute. It's again a Sheba Designs vinyl front bag. Super cute Christmas project by Tiny Modernist. This is the Yule Goddess. I think I saw this one for the first time on Cross Stitch the Globes channel. I think Allison has finished hers. And I just love it. I've actually not had my Christmas tree or holiday decorations out in quite a few years. It's been like a few weird years of like moving and kind of getting resettled in houses. So I really would like, I think I've got that motivation this year to like get a bunch of festive things finished and, you know, get decorations out. So again, this one is WIP Dye Works fabric. And then I think it's all DMC flosses. Check these out. Yeah. It's pretty interesting because there's so much detail in this pattern, but there's only, what is this? Like 10 different colors of floss. I don't know. She's a design genius. And then this is stitched on the called for, again, weeks with their weird fabric counts. So 30 count linen in Grasshopper by Weeks. And this one feels even like a looser weave than the 35 count. No surprise. The color's amazing. It's really pretty. I think it's gonna look nice framed. I don't think I would seek out WIP Dye Works fabric in the future. Same with their flosses. They have kind of like a drier feel. I don't know. It's just kind of a personal preference thing. So I've got a, you know, surged edge. Decent little start with the moon. The starts of her face here. That antler. I don't know. She's really pretty. I'm going to try to figure out how to link any channels that I might mention in the description box. It's probably going to take me, like, I'll film this today. We're in mid-May. It's probably going to take me a really long time to get this uploaded. By the time it makes it to the internet, this might be completely outdated. I'm like a total procrastinator. Also, the idea of like watching this back and trying to edit it and listening to myself speak is horrifying. You know, I don't know about you, but it's like inside your head, you hear your voice one way, and then when you hear it like on a recording, it doesn't even sound like what you hear. That was weird. Okay, next one that I have in this pretty bag by PT Bags on Etsy, I'm pretty sure. I think any fabric project bags that I would have bought would have been from Etsy. Nice, not vinyl front, but that's, I kind of like that sometimes. This is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. I've seen this design everywhere. I'm pretty sure that Megan the Seattle Stitcher has started. Maybe she finished hers. I've seen a bunch of people that have stitched this. It's one of those patterns in the photo. It looks very black and white. But I ordered, I don't think it's the call. Is it the call for fabric? Let's see. Let's see. Sand. So my fabric is, yeah, Sand by Fiber on a Whim 40 count, which is the called for. I also ordered the called for NPI silks because there are only 6 of them in this. I think this was my first time working on 40 count. That might not be true. I think I have one other. I have a finish that I'll show in a different video that's on a 40 count. Here's my start. More WIP progress. I'm probably, no, I'm not quite halfway. Maybe a third. It's 1 strand over 2 on 40 count, as I said. Yeah, but the photo, and even on camera, it looks kind of black and white. But when I got these flosses, you're like, wow, these are, it's green. They're green. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And it's called White Winter Moth, but this would be like a year-round piece I would hang in my house for sure. It's just, yeah, those silks are so nice to work with. I mean, gosh, love them, yeah. So it's just these having little bags. I don't want to floss drop these. I think they might get creased, and then they're just kind of like in their little sad little bags. I feel like I might run out of the white. Maybe not. I'm a little nervous about that, but I mean, not nervous. I might have to order more white. No big deal. Trying to put things back kind of where they came from. Otherwise, I'm going to have a really, really, really big mess once I'm done. This is a good exercise for me too, because I think going through this, I'm probably going to find some things that I forgot about. Some things I'm excited about. I'm excited about all of these because, like, we wouldn't start these projects if we weren't excited about them at some point, right? So anyway, okay, next thing in the big pile. This one has not been touched in a really, really long time. I think I bought this, again, really early on, a year ago, probably, in my re-entry into the cross-stitch world. And I think branching out into linens, because I never stitched on linen when I originally was cross-stitching. I know that. I've been all Ada. So I've only been stitching on linen for this last year or so. And I like it. I enjoy it. But I'm definitely learning about who I am as a stitcher and like my preferences for sure. Just show you my little start on this before I pull out the pattern. And this, one of the best needle minders in the world, the Golden Girls. So this pattern is Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. Just the cover photo. And again, I'm pretty sure this is the called for fabric. This is a 28 count casual linen in truffle. So is that 1, 2, 3 stitch? I think doesn't always put the manufacturer name or the dyer name on their tags. It's Picture This Plus, casual linen, 28 count truffle. So the called for fabric for sure. I also ordered the called for, these are the little Valdani. They're cotton. It's like the little, they're on little spools, bobbins. And they're variegated, and you use, so unlike DMC or other flosses where you would split into strands, you just use the whole, you don't split it, I don't know what that's called. The whole thread. Yeah, so I feel like doing that, it's maybe a little thicker than 2 strands of DMC. It's a different feeling. It's not as thick as a pearl cotton, but it's kind of that same sort of feel. I also just found my little tiny thread snips that were in this bag that I thought I lost. One of the WIPs that's not in this pile that I have going that I'm planning to show in a different video, I'm working on some stockings that use pearl cotton instead of embroidery floss. So it's a little bit of a similar kind of feel. I don't know, it just feels different. The effect is really pretty with the variegation. But yeah. I think I started it and I hadn't stitched on linen much, and then I hadn't used that kind of thread, and I think I wasn't enjoying it a ton, but I love I mean, the finished product is gorgeous, and I would love to pick that one back up. I think that's what all Flosstubers say, right? I have to get back to stitching this. Okay, I gotta pick up the pace because I have like 30 minutes left and have still a lot of projects. Okay, next in the pile is, again, an Amazon mesh bag or plasticky mesh bag. I'm going to show the chart by accident. Here's the cover photo. This is a Barbara Anna Designs. It's called Gothic Light. It's like a dark Christmas or holiday kind of design. This one is, again, all DMC floss, and it is on, it's a 32 count, I think it's, I know I used this in fabric before, it's a 32 count Murano Basalt Splash by Zweigart, so it's got painted dots on it. It makes it a little tricky sometimes because you were like sometimes like trying to pierce that paint with your needle. I'm not sure which way this goes. I think, is this up? My start isn't very big on this, but I love Barbara Anna's use of color. Like I feel like she really can get such intricate design details, and she doesn't, like, it's not that many flosses really. This is a mess. I mean, what is this? It's less than a dozen. All DMC. Small start. This is really, it's easy to, pretty easy to stitch on, except for like the little paint spots can make it a little hard to count every once in a while. I found I can stitch easily with just, you know, natural light or a lamp on 32 and even 36 count. Once we hit 40 count, I need magnification. I can't. My eyes are too old. I do too much computer work. So she's gonna be on half this fabric, and on the other half I have like a sneak peek of a finish because this is another Barbara Anna on the same fabric that I've just been too lazy to cut. Got dancers done. I would like to finish kind of a bunch of these. I don't know, they're different Christmas, right? They're not like your traditional Santas. I think it would be cool to get some kind of like almost like gaudy mismatch frames and do a collage wall, sort of like an anthropology kind of look. So I have one. No, actually I have another one of hers done too. Somewhere. At some point I'll do a little finish parade. Okay, next up, this is in it's kind of a patriotic bag. My bags aren't necessarily all like theme matched to the projects in them. I kind of just grab what's available. This is by PT Bags on Etsy, I'm pretty sure again. Oh, another artsy housewife project. This one is a Study in Pink. She has another butterfly one. I think it's called A Study in Nature that is gorgeous. I think it was Thread Gremlins. They were thinking about starting on our red fabric, which is so cool. But I think that one is all silks for the called for. So it's a little intimidating, and it's a lot of floss to not have like some kind of either fancy cotton floss conversion or a DMC conversion. Anyway, but I love this one. I mean, they're both gorgeous. So this one I'm stitching on a 36 count antique ivory linen. This might just be swag art. I'm gonna try to get better about tracking what things are. I think I want to download Stitching. Is it Stitchy or Stitching Naughty? She has that Notion template. I think that might help me to kind of keep track of like inventory things. And so that's my beginning on this. It is all, I don't think I have them on a floss ring. They're just kind of loose in here. So it's all Classic Colorworks and Weeks. And there's some general art. So it's a variety of overdyed floss, which these are like not being treated very well right now. And then that pop of red is the amazing DMC 666. It's such a cool color palette. I mean, I wish I had enough time to just stitch, you know, all day long, all the time, and finish all these projects. You pull them out and you want to give them all love. And when I've worked on this, it's gone really, really fast. It's just, oh God. She's a genius. I will buy everything she designs. Whether or not I have time to stitch them all is a totally different matter. Okay, this bag is cute. Bees and Gnomes. It's by Joyful Stitching, Final Front. Again, I'm sure this was an Etsy purchase. I have extra fabric hanging out in here. This one, I don't have the paper pattern for, so I'm gonna try to pull up a photo on my iPad. This is a design by Stitch Rovia. I think it's Emma Congdon is the designer. I think I bought a couple of her other smaller designs when I first was getting back into cross stitch, and I really like just the kind of like, I mean, they're simple but not, how do I describe it? They're easy to stitch, but they're not like, the designs and the picture ends up looking intricate, but like the stitching is actually like pretty simplistic, like big blocks of color, repeating patterns. This is all DMC. It's a 32 count Belfast linen antique white again, which I just like an animal like hacked off with sharp scissors. I think I stitched other stuff on it. Oh my God. I do own a serger. It's unthreaded at the moment, and that like threading it, and I don't know, I always have to like relook up how to thread it. Anyway, it's not, that's shameful. But I made pretty good progress on this. I think this is gonna look really cute hanging in my office. I kind of keep it at my desk, honestly, like at my desk. And when I have some little breathers at work, I can kind of pick it up and like stitch a few stitches, and I don't lose my place on it because it's like, so yeah, they're all DMC flosses. Most of my floss drops are like the Amazon teardrop cheap ones. These are some kind of cute ones I got. I think they're on Etsy. They're like an acrylic with some glitter in it, so that's cool. All right, I'm gonna take a very quick break, get some more water, and I'll be right back. Okay. Oops, I'm bumping the camera. I have the worst setup right now. I have like a weird selfie stick tripod sitting on top of a Rubbermaid tub. That's my sophisticated setup. Okay, so I think we're about halfway through. And one thing that I just thought of as I was getting water was, one thing I meant to mention in my intro was my taste in cross stitch is really, like, I have a wide variety of things that interest me, which is where I got the name of my channel. As you've seen, I like everything from like kind of kitschy to samplers. There's gonna be some kits. I kind of thought I was over the whole DMC, or not DMC, dimensions kits thing, but of some of the videos I've watched lately, I've been kind of collecting those again too. So if I keep this up, you're probably gonna see like a really wide variety of stuff, which I hope is good. Okay, next it's a really small start, again on like a crudely, this is on the world's crunchiest, look at this, white Aida. I don't know if this is like a Charles Craft or DMC. Are they the same thing? I don't even, maybe one owns the other. This is Craft Store Aida. I think it's 18 count. And it's really uncomfortable to work with. But I will say this. Like, don't ever look at the backs of my projects, because I'm like an animal. I will just travel, and yeah, the backs are a mess. There are some people who are amazing stitchers who you could flip their work front to back and it looks almost the same. No, I'm not about that life. I don't have time for that. So I think the benefit, but this concerned me when I started this, because there's like black floss on white Aida, and I'm like, with space in between, I'm like, it's gonna show. But I think the benefit to it being like so crunchy, so you can't see through it. So I should tell you what this project is. This project is another one that I downloaded off Etsy. I think the designer is New Dream Stitch. I don't know if it was just a suggested Etsy thing, whatever. Like I said, when I first started cross stitching, I did only Aida because that's what I had access to. And then when I got back into it, I did Aida because that's what I knew. And then I got into linen stitching. But every once in a while, I just kind of want that old school Aida stitching experience. And certain designs, I think, kind of lend themselves, or not call for, like, I'm not going to stitch a really kitschy graphic sampler probably on like I don't know. You know, sometimes something just needs to go on Aida. Does that make sense? And this is one of them. Like, this is called the Christmas Vacation quote. There are swear words in this, so if that offends you, look away. This is going to be a swearing channel probably in the future. I don't even know when I'm doing it. This is Clark Griswold's rant on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and I love it. So I felt like this just needed Aida, and I think the dimension, yeah, it lists dimensions for either a 14 or 16 count Aida. I think this is an 18, and I'm doing it 2/1. And I think I did it on 18 just because I had it. And I also kind of wanted it to be smaller when it's done. Like I love this design and I love that monologue from the movie, but at the same time I didn't want like a giant framed photo of it. I thought it'd be kind of cool, just like a small piece. Kind of one of those things that will hang in your house and maybe only certain people would notice what it actually says. But yeah, it's only DMC. It's got table ties on it. And it's like 6 colors of floss. Like, very basic. I mean, the only thing that's missing from this is DMC 310, which I don't put on floss drops because I did the thing where I bought the giant cone of 310. Just because you need it for everything. I have a couple projects that I'm going to use probably entirely 310. Okay, up next, we're going to reach back here. This one is in a cute project bag. This one, who made this? The 805 Stitcher. I think I have a couple more coming from her. She makes great bags. Love her fabrics. Love her fabrics. And the quality of them is amazing. This project is by Lucy Beam. It's called Halloween Angel. It's kind of like more like a primitive kind of design. I love Halloween. I probably love Halloween more than Christmas. Like, Halloween's a lifestyle, not a holiday. This one is stitched in. I'm using all the called for flosses. Oops, there was a little scissor attached to it. So it's a combination of DMC, and then we've got some Gentle Arts. I have a little knot. I need to start braiding my flosses on rings, but I don't really worry that much about. I think some people stress about the ends getting kind of crumpled. I don't know. Especially with DMC, I'm pretty wasteful with floss. Like, if I cut a length of it and stitch with it and finish that color and I have like this much left, it's going in the trash. It's like 60 cents. So this is stitched on a 32 count hemp linen by Jackson Fabric Arts. The color Arches. She sells on Etsy. She has beautiful fabrics. They're hemp. I also have a couple hanging threads on this. This is my, let's see if I can not drop it. Progress on this. I'm pretty far on this one. Like, it's like the rest is just like this kind of stocking piece with some pumpkins and like big block stitching of the black and then filling in her hat. It's so cute. Again, it's a little bigger than I think I envisioned. But I'm gonna do like a pillow finish. I think so. The hemp fabric I've used in a couple projects. So there's a couple more coming. It does feel different than like a regular linen. It's a little more drapey, but at the same time a little thicker. And I think it lends itself like really well to these kinds of projects, like pillow finishes, because I think it's just gonna have that soft kind of finish. I probably wouldn't use it on something that was like really, really geometric, where you want all your stitches to be super duper even. But I think for something like this, like, oh my god, her colors are just amazing. And her prices are amazing, and she ships really fast. She's the best. So yeah, I wouldn't probably stitch every single project on a hemp, but like, it definitely has its use. And when you find those projects that it works well, it's great. So pretty. So that is that one. I've stopped counting. I don't know what we're up to. So if you're keeping track, maybe let me know. It might be better for me not to know. Is anybody getting those weird, this is gonna get kind of weird and morbid, but like, sometimes I look at how much I have going and how many projects I have or patterns I've purchased, and then how many things that I want to stitch, and you start adding up number of stitches and thinking about how many stitches you can do in like a day, a month, week, year. I don't think I could finish everything I have in the amount of time I have left on this earth. That's really, it's like horrible to think about. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Let's move on. The next thing, after I get a drink of water, I think this is another, no, this is Shiba Designs project bag. And I think this was like a, when I used to quilt, I knew fabric designers and lines of fabric really well, but I haven't done quilting in so many years that I don't really keep up with like the names of the designs and fabric lines. I think it's one of those Tula Pink. I don't know. It's really cool. Love this. And this one is holding I have only the digital pattern for this. So this is my start on, oops, let me find it. The Greenhouse of Oddities Sal by Lola Crow cross stitch. And I'm so far behind on this that I've only downloaded the cover photo for like the first half of the plantings. So I bought this pattern. Did I buy it when the sale started? I'm not totally sure. Maybe I did. Regardless, I did not keep up. This is on a 36 count linen dyed by XG Designs in the color Brown Sand. And this is a 2/2. All DMC. Look at this needle minder. I don't remember where I got this. It's off Etsy. If I can find it, I'll try to link it. I think this is when I was like, well, I don't know. My shopping's always out of control. But I think when I got back into cross stitch, I was just like, buy all the patterns, buy all the fabric. I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't have a lot of experience stitching on linen yet, for sure. So I've started the frame. I think I got off in here by like 1 stitch. And I cannot or could not, for the life of me, find where my mistake was. And I don't think it's going to really, I think it just only affects this crow or raven. So I don't think it's going to affect, but it was like one of those things where I just, like, it had to go into timeout for a little while. And then the clues kept coming out and I never caught up and it's been in this bag. But one day I would like to finish it. It's all DMC. She uses a lot of floss in her. But God, these colors are gorgeous. Like, oh my God. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep kind of setting up project bags like this. I start so many things and I know, especially with DMC projects, like I feel like I have all these flosses somewhere in a bag. If I just keep rebuying, buy the same ones over and over again. I almost feel like it would be better for me to have like one master set stored in one spot and just work from that instead of having like 8, 16 and 5 different bags. Whatever, probably doesn't matter. My little bag charm fell off. It's in my bigger storage bag, so I'll have to fix that later. Totally me. I did that. Okay. Next up is another one that I only have a digital pattern for. Also, at some point, I might figure out how to insert like a little photo. Today's not that day. So we're dealing with the iPad held up to the camera. Okay. This one is the another Witchy Stitcher pattern. It's the Stephen King house. So as you could probably tell from my background, if I haven't mentioned it, I am a reader. I hesitated because like book reading and book collecting are 2 separate hobbies. Just like buying cross-stitch supplies and stitching are 2 separate hobbies. I participate in all of these hobbies. Got like a Stephen King, you can see partial collection over here. I have a bookstagram. It's kind of just gathering dust. I was all into reading a couple years ago, and then cross stitch kind of took over my life, so reading has suffered. And not big on audiobooks. I've tried. I feel like I just zone out and I'm not listening, so whatever. Anyway, my idea with this was I would stitch the frame of the house, and then there are, I don't even know, 8 or so Stephen King books represented in this pattern. And I thought, okay, as I read each of these books, I'll stitch that section of the house. So I started, got the roof like done on the top of the frame. So I'm ready. I just need to pick which book I'm gonna read and then read it. I've read a decent amount of Stephen King already, but I think the ones in this picture, have I not read any of these? Probably not. And it's got this really cool like Ouija board planchette needle minder. I can't remember where I got this. It might have been Amazon even. This is also in DMC. Yes, all DMC, and it's again on another Jackson Fabric Arts hemp linen 32 count in, I think it's pale shale is the color. But yeah, this is another one of those where I just feel like her fabric is just perfect for these kinds of designs, like the kind of cutesy like pictorial sort of designs. I have a kind of a decent stash of her fabrics, and I had pulled one of them, I can't remember the color, thinking that I would use it for maybe a Carolyn Manning, and then I think for her, I wanted to do Manning May, but then I started one, wasn't happy with holding on my choices, wasn't happy with it, so I'm restarting that. And then I had plans to do another one on a Jackson Fabric Arts. But I think for her designs, because they're so geometric, I think they lend themselves better to like more like an Ada or like an even weave or like a Witchel's linen. You know, those ones that they're really even. Like they don't have any variation in them. They don't have like big slubs. I think with hers, because they're so, like I said, geometric, they just look better on that kind of fabric. So maybe it's May 15th today when I'm filming this, so maybe I might actually like get on track and get at least something decently started to finish Manning May. There's so many stitch alongs in May. Like Manning May, Mirabilia May. I've started a couple of those. I wanted to start, I have a sampler by I think it's Marjorie Massey that I wanted to start this month. We'll see if that hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. Okay, next up is another one that I only have a PDF pattern for. This one is, yeah, it's the Witchy Stitcher again, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And it's called Apothecary Shop. I love that frame, oh my god. I kind of want this hanging in my kitchen, like above my the window over my kitchen sink. I just think that would look really cool. This one I'm doing just in 310 DMC. I have a very measly little start in the upper corner. This was part of that like Start-a-Palooza weekend where I'm like, let's just start 15 things while my husband's out of town. I think it actually goes this way. It's small. This is on another linen by XJU Design. It's a 36 count and the color is Gray Sand. Her fabric's beautiful too. Oh my gosh. And I think she's in Hungary, I think. I ordered from her on Etsy, and I feel like her stuff comes pretty fast, like faster than I'm getting stuff from like the United States half the time. Gorgeous. Okay. All right. Here's another one in an Amazon mesh bag. This is again another artsy housewife. I downloaded this pattern off of her Etsy shop. Lots of people are stitching this one. I know Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe has it going. There's other people too. I'm blanking on who now, but like I said, I would just order I'd love to buy and stitch every single thing she designs. Like, I don't know, it's just, they're just, I don't even know what it is about them. It's like retro and whimsical, and but they're not hard to stitch. I mean, she uses a lot of overdyed flosses, so you get that detail in the design without having to change colors 10,000 times. I think this is the only floss it uses. We've got a couple of DMCs, 1 weeks, few Gentle Arts, and then Classic Colorworks. So pretty. And I am stitching this one on sticker stuck inside my bag. This is 36 count. It's Weigart Vintage Country Mocha. I don't have a very big start. I've just started like that. I did a top center start on this one. Again, with the starts, sometimes I start in the center. It kind of just depends. I don't even really know like what the real reason is. Like, do I have a reason? Not really. I find it easier for me to count, kind of like reading a book, like from the left to the right, top to bottom. So I think I tend to lean more toward a top, either top center or top left start. I'll start in the center, I think, more if I'm worried about fabric size and not having enough margin. There's a lot of logic behind what I do oftentimes, so it could just be that's what I felt like doing one day. I don't know. Okay, so we got just a few left. We're getting close. If I finish this whole thing and the sound is garbage, I'd be so upset. Also, I really hope I can figure out, I think everything's reversed in my viewfinder, so I have I'm shooting on my phone today just because it felt easier. I have a kind of a nicer Canon camera, but I haven't used it in so long that it was going to take me a little while to get back up to speed on it, and it was just going to be one more thing that was going to keep me from doing this. So anyway, look at this gigantic hunk of floss. These are on super fancy Adam Hart cross stitch, like the floss bobbins. So these are the one where you can like tie them like floss drops, and then when if you want to like bobbinate later, you can just wrap it up and stick it in the bottom. I always used to bobbinate my thread. That was kind of like, I think, really the only way people were storing stuff back in the day. So when I got back into cross stitch, that's what I bought. Like, I just started bobbinating things, and now I'm trying to, like, the stuff that I have on bobbins in storage boxes, I'm trying to use and you know, use up the stuff on bobbins and get it off bobbins. Everything on drops. I don't know. But this is another Lola Crow cross stitch along. I do not have a cover photo saved. This is an active stitch along. I feel like everyone is doing it. This is the Deadly Aquarium style. Guys, I'm caught up. I am like, I was like a month ahead of schedule. I finished the frame on this thing. God, does it even fit? I'm never ahead on anything. Like I said, I do taxes for a living, so my job is super deadline driven. And that's basically the only thing that motivates me. It's like crushing deadlines. So the fact that I like didn't procrastinate and try to do this entire family weekend before the next section came out is freaking amazing. Like, I want credit for this. Like, this never happens. Okay, so yeah, so I think the stitch along started April 12th. And we had, I believe, 6 weeks to do the frame, which I didn't like 2 or a week and a half. And then I think the first clue comes out May 24th, so in about 10 days. Get our next little thing. And this is again on a Jackson Fabric Arts 32 count hemp linen in the color Cadiz. I feel like it's washing out a little bit definitely on my viewfinder here. It's a little more green, minty green in real life. But, oh my god. The columns on this frame were like a struggle. Because it's, you know, just long straight rows of stitching and like it's kind of boring. But the payoff's going to be totally worth it. This is going to be so cool when it's done. Yeah. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a nice size. So. Okay. And this bag is by the Pampered Needle. Kind of like an Edgar Allan Poe thing happening. Again, I'm like 99% sure I bought this at Etsy. So yeah, really looking forward to the first like little motif glue for that one to come out. All right. All right. Gosh, we're getting close. This one is on its Q-snap still because I was working on it a couple days ago. I probably should leave it like on this, like for this long, but I wanted to leave it set up so that I would be motivated to like pick it up and stitch on it. This is my start on, I've had this pattern for a bit and actually kitted up for a bit. This is by the Blue Flower, more bee themed. This is In Praise of Pollinators, and Lality, I think it's Lality Stitches, is doing a stitch along for this one. Like, she put that out there. I already had everything ready to go on this one. I love bees. I'm like, sign me up. This would be great. So first day of the sal, I did the main body of the bee, and then that was April 30th, and then it hasn't really been touched since then. This one I'm stitching on, yeah, it's 40 count Stormy Night. Is it 40 count? I think it's 40. Yeah, 40 count Stormy Night linen. It's from Zweigart, and it's primarily DMC flosses. We've got a couple of classic colorworks and one week style works in the mix, but yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Oh, pretty. So I think she's broken up the stitch along into, I think, 7 monthly chunks. So we have to get, I think month 1 was kind of the biggest piece, where you have to get like this central, looks like a bee skep, but it's got a bear face on it, like, so it's that kind of central piece. And I think you can just join. But yeah, within 7 months, if I keep up, it should be done. We will see. Okay. This bag is by Creative Carol Designs. It's huge. It's got the handle. I have another one of hers coming. Look at that fabric. I think this is also a Tula pink fabric. It's like the crazy Alice in Wonder. I love Alice in Wonderland. I love weird books. Shavaz, Alice in Wonderland, the big horror book reader. This one is kind of stuffed to the gills. So it's May, which is also Mira May. I never, since I've returned to stitching, Mira really was kind of a new realization for me. I didn't think it's something that I would be into stitching, I don't know, initially, and then the more I saw it, the more I wanted it. Wanted all of them. So yeah, these are huge and fun, and they have like tons of specialty threads and beads, and I don't know, I think it's like just different enough from regular cross stitch that I found it like super intriguing. I also recently, I'm not gonna show those in this video, but I've kind of a little bit gone down like the rabbit hole of Mill Hill ornament kits on the perforated paper. I've done, finished 3, almost finished my 4th. I had like 10 more of those. Instant gratification, a little bit of cross stitch, a little bit of beading. So fun. I'll do maybe a separate video on those at some point. Yeah, like I said, there are a few other things that I have going that I'm not going to show in this video. One is a group of projects. It's like a part of a bigger, like, long-term project. I'm doing Christmas stockings again for our family, so I thought I'd do a focus video on that. Also a couple other things going that are gifts, or there's a chance that the recipients of them might stumble upon this video, so I just don't want to spoil anything. Anyway, so this bag is holding like some Mirabilia whips and some kitted stuff and some patterns and some possibilities. I think I'll just show the stuff that I've started. So the first Mirabilia pattern that I've purchased and that I started is Alice in Wonderland, which is like why this bag was chosen for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do, I think it's Jordan the Tattoo Stitcher. She did this one or finished this one recently, and she did it without like the framing curtain and all that. And it's really pretty. I think I might leave that part off. I don't know. I'm gonna stitch her first and then make a decision, because I think if I didn't do the curtains and that arch, that she would look pretty in like an oval frame. So I have started her. Gosh, do I have the tag in here? This is like a mess. This is on a 32 count linen. I think it's Kunzite from Fiber on a Whim. I've kind of just started like at the center. I've started on the center on this one again because no rhyme or reason. Like, I'm just gonna start where I want to start. And that's the center part of her dress. And my plan is to do all the DMC. I don't think she has any. She has 2 Karen water lilies. Do all of those, and then she has no Krynic, and then do the beads last. And then I started, well, shortly after she went out of print, I saw everyone stitching this one, Fairy Flora. I bought this pattern on eBay. I was still able to get it for like a reasonable price. I don't remember what I paid. It wasn't more than $30. It wasn't one of those like crazy out of print prices. And I started her twice. So I'm having a dilemma. All of the Mirabilias are stitched. The called for is Witchell 32 count linen, which is not my favorite. So, but then I've also heard, like, if you do a dyed fabric, sometimes the fabrics will shrink more during dyeing, and it can make the beading a little too tight at the end. So the suggestion at that point was to maybe pick a 28 count if you're doing a hand dyed. So I did that. I bought a 28 count, which doesn't even make sense because I already started Alice on a 32, and I haven't beaded her yet, but the stitching looks good to me, so whatever. I don't know. I bought a 28 count for her, and this is, hang on. Do I have the color in here? Gosh, did I move it? Oh, shoot. I think it's a Fiber on the Whim. Oh, shoot. I'm gonna have to dig in this bag and find that color. So I started like the central part of her dress on this. And I actually got decently far. And then I started looking at it compared to the Alice on 32. And I think it's a combination of like size, like stitch count difference, and also white floss and pale pink. I don't know why. I think it's kind of universal. Like, nobody likes stitching in these. Like, why do our stitches look so bad in white floss? I just didn't feel like I was getting the coverage I wanted. And I got this far and I'm like, fuck. I don't know if I want to keep going with that. So I put it aside. And then I ordered, and in the meantime, I'd ordered like a shit ton more, 28 count hand-dyed fabric from 123 Stitch for other Mirabilias that I had planned. And I'm like, damn it. Like, so now I have all this 28 count coming, and I don't think I like it. So I ordered some more 32. This is also Fiber on a Whim. I think this one's called Dusk. It looked more gray online and probably on camera here. In real life, it's more like a more blue, more denim-y. So I restarted that same section on 32, and I think I like the way my stitches are looking better, but I'm still not 100% sold on it, and I think it's just the white. I think that's just the killer for me. And this is a big piece, and I started right in the middle, so she's so interesting. I mean, the Mirabilias are big, but she's like a kind of a long and narrow design, so I've got to kind of have like a ton of margin. Maybe it's enough to do some smalls or something else. I don't know, but it's not just like wasted. So I don't know. I'm still not sure. So I put her aside too. And then I started, again, this is another Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe. I'm like totally influenced, enabled, whatever you want to call it. Where's my pattern? Oh. She started this one. Everyone, I feel like everyone's starting this one. Cathedral Woods Goddess. She's cool. I love that she's like kind of dark, you know, a little scary. I like it. This one is on, it's 32 count. And this is feldspar. Picture this plus, I think. I started this. And I love it. And this is just DMC so far, and then like a little bit of the Karen Water Lilies. And it's gorgeous. And I think that's the thing on Fairy Floor. I think it's just the freaking white floss. I don't know what to do about that. I love the finished look of that design. So I mean, I really want to complete it, but it just kind of makes me sad. So we'll see. This one actually has, she's got, again, I saw Stephanie start it, and I'm like, whoop, yep, getting that. Went on 123 Stitch. I think I went on the Facebook group and found, you know, fabric people were using, and settled on feldspar, ordered that, and then like did that, checked the box and ordered everything else from 123 Stitch without really paying attention. And then this thing showed up. It has like 5 spools of Kreinek. First, oh, I think my bag's downstairs. 5 spools of a giant bag of beads, and I was like, what have I done? So yeah, she's got less stitches than a lot of the other Mirabilia designs, but she's got a lot of special stuff happening in there too, so she's gonna be a big project. Okay, I'm down to the last 2, and these last 2 were completely influenced, inspired by Megan, the Seattle Stitcher. I love her. I love her channel. I've connected with her on Instagram. She's just like an amazing, sweet person. She's been really encouraging. I've been telling her that I want to start a YouTube channel, and she's like giving me that little nudge. She's the sweetest thing ever. And we actually live, I mean, she's in the Seattle area, so at some point, Megan, we have to meet in person. So, this first one I hesitate to show because it's like barely a start, and I think I'm going to sort it over. But the 2 projects that Megan has inspired me to start are both by Thea. I think it's Gouverneur. They're kits. One is the Lady in the Unicorn, which I think she started and now maybe like restarted. I bought this kit again early on in my like re-entry into the cross stitch world. I did this much. Look how sad. This is on the kit fabric. It's a 28 count Jomelin. This one you're actually doing 1 strand of floss over 2 on a 28 count, which is unusual, but it gives you that kind of like faded tapestry look. I've also seen cross stitch with Luda. She is pretty far on this one, which is amazing. That's what's kind of inspired me to pick it back up. I think I'm gonna restart it and start in the center, just because like the things I've heard about this kit is that they don't give you much margin. So I didn't start with a gigantic margin. I'm probably okay. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna restart it and just restart it. It's not that far, and then I'll pick out that extra at the end. And then the other one that I think was kind of Megan's birthday start that I saw she posted on Instagram, and I'm like, hey, if you stitch that, let me know and I'll buy it too, is another Thea Gouverneur project. Still life with flowers in a glass vase. Long name. This one is amazing. I got the kit. I'm stitching on the kit, which is an 18 count Aida. Sometimes you just remember to stitch on Aida. And I'm the star. There are probably 10 different shades of like white, off-white, lavender, white, beige in that section. This is no joke. It's a lot to keep track of. I think it's just when it's done, I think it's just gonna glow. And I think Megan said, I think I'm gonna do the same thing, that like probably just gonna leave off this, like that interior border is a stitched border. I think I'm gonna leave it off because I think it will look good in a oval frame. But look, you've got like the little snails and so on. It's so cool. I also bought another one of her, well, 2 more of her kits. They're on their way to me from 123 Stitch. So I messaged Megan the other day and I said, you know, no pressure, but I think I'm gonna institute a Thea Thursday for myself, just so I keep momentum on these projects, because there's a lot of stitching in these things. So if anyone would like to join us, feel free to join. This is not like a high pressure stitch along, no deadlines, nothing like that. Just literally on Thursdays, pick up a project by Thea Gouverneur and stitch with us and share it. So guys, I think that's it. This is long. Once I don't know. Now it's the terrifying part of watching myself back on video and like, oof. We'll see. But thank you for watching if you stuck around this long. I hope to do another one of these videos soon, like a regular Flosstube kind of finishes, starts, whips. Yeah, I'd like to do some themed videos. I don't know. I don't really have a plan as far as a schedule, maybe every couple weeks, just to kind of keep a regular posting schedule, and maybe so that I start to feel a little less awkward on camera. But I would love to have you subscribe if you'd like to see more of what I'm up to, and I'd love to have you follow me on Instagram. I'll try to post all that information below. And if you have made it this far, share a bee emoji so then I'll know you watched to the end. Okay, bye. See you later.